last time on the lands that make us.
You could swing by Rourke's.
I don't see any reason why we can't check on him and make sure he hasn't got up into any trouble.
He is pretty badly beaten. The guys up there, they're so strong that I don't even know if you have a chance against them, honestly.
Hand me my shield. You haven't the authority to live in this residence. You will vacate immediately.
Hey, you can't prove that. What if he's lying to you? Plato, you kill this man.
Plato looks down at his arm, just sort of really angry.
Can I use the other part of my movement to try and mount the centaur?
You are centaur back as this glass vase covers the side of the room in shard, and what you immediately recognize to be the substance slip.
Now there's a big drugged horse. The birdhouse.
The centaur is going to kind of lay down. He seems completely lost.
We do not wish to cause you any more harm, but if you continue down this path, we will be forced to continue on.
Come on, Whaley Keith. You don't have to do this.
You're right. I don't. Clean Keith, we don't have to do this. We are no longer in combat. You can hear the sounds of work climbing the staircase to the south. Vance, the man who seems to be in charge, and Oily Keith both gather themselves at the base of the large tree in the center of the den here, both in seated positions, pacified. One of the other lackeys unconscious nearby, one lying dead.
I would like to check to see if the centaur is still breathing after he falls quiet.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll me a medicine check.
So are we out of initiative now?
We are.
Well, the 9.
You wait a long time for a breath, and you don't feel one come, and you're about to, call it, and then he takes a massive horse breath in. He seems to still be alive.
Are you all right? She says, slapping his cheeks gently.
A giggle comes to his lips as you watch his cheeks kind of bounce back in and out of position as if they're jello in response to your touch.
All right, he's fine.
After 30 seconds or so, work arrives. See, I have new friends, and they're just as Who broke my big slip container? Over many. It's all over the floor. Who did this? It's not like one of you intentionally threw something at it or anything, right? Like it was an accident that happened during the fray, I'm sure. He begins walking over. He looks very upset.
Plato, kicks away the javelin that is...
Yes, total accident.
Douchebag Vance. See? I told you.
I think you have some explaining to do, Rourke.
And then he spits on the ground. He's like, oh, man, I just spit in my own apartment. He, takes a towel and, wipes it up. Explaining? What's explaining?
The whole of this situation and why you did have this giant vial of slip in the middle of your home.
Each time I do a drug run, I pour just a little bit in there.
So you've been stealing?
No.
That's a lot of drug runs. She says that she looks all over the place at the interminable amount of drugs all over the floor.
Well, I'd say he's quite experienced.
Okay. Vance speaks up. I can explain our side of it, if you'd like. No, we don't need that. You're a big bully.
I'd like to cast Zone of Truth surrounding both parties.
Rourke almost immediately goes into a coughing fit.
Totally forgot she could do that.
He's gonna roll. Oh, he fails. That's unfortunate. Vance also fails with the exact same result, which is kind of poetic.
Let's see what these thieves have to say.
Whose apartment are we standing in?
It's a technicality, really. Okay, so it was his. But for his last big run, he borrowed money from all of us, a lot of money, and we were supposed to go with him, and he just disappeared out in the night with our money, okay? So we've just been living here, and we took the apartment because it is almost equivalent to the value he got from all of us.
So you're loan sharks, and are you factoring in the amount that the slip jar was worth in this equation?
I watched you throw a javelin at it. What? What do
That's
you mean?
that
Like
is-
she just threw a javelin at it?
that is neither here nor there.
Inara steps in and goes, "She only did that to save your friend, the centaur."
And myself, but yes, the centaur as well.
Vance, I didn't even use your money. You didn't even let me explain. I met a new contact before I left, and it was important I leave right away. Your money's still here.
He's still in the zone of truth when he says this.
Yeah, you see him immediately regret saying that as his beak closes, and he kind of like ponders for that for a second.
Great. Then all parties will be satisfied as you can pay up what you owe, and you will also have your apartment back. This seems fair to me.
Yes, so its collateral can be returned.
I think maybe half of his money back to him is fair. Look at the damage done to my apartment. You smashed all my art? What is this? This is highway robbery. Rourke looks upset. I thought we were friends. You were my enforcers. Can't we just kill them and be done with it? Why do we have to give them some of my money?
Would you rather we go through more official avenues and see what
No,
the city has to
this
say
never
about
was
it?
legally mine in the first place. He like covers his beak more. Will you please end this spell on me?
Rourke, we are not murdering your allies on your behalf.
All right,
Well,
follow me. It's honestly very sweet that you all haven't found it yet.
I would like to gently poke him in the back with the retrieved javelin and follow him as he goes.
He blushes.
What does a bird blushing look like?
His roadrunner darker gray cheeks turn a little bit red, and that's Sherrilyn escorting me to my bedroom. I did not think of all of the people in the party, of all of my new friends, you were the least likely. He says over his shoulder as he walks ahead.
Shut your beak.
I lean over to Inara. I'd be interested to see the ranking.
I am also the most likely to get you arrested if you try anything.
He leads you into a very, very comfortable looking room. There's the hallway itself is filled with paintings that have been smashed apart. And you see he kind of picks each one up and leans it against the wall, a little sad as he walks in. You see the same is true for his main bedroom, save one large painting on the wall, an oil painting depicting Rourke flying in the air. Beneath him, a centaur man, a furball druid, Vance, who is astride his own horse, as well as those two other men kind of running behind them. And Rourke very, very quickly and clumsily topples the painting, just kind of throws it off the wall, revealing a large safe mechanism behind it. He looks towards Sherrilyn. I bet they don't even know my birthday, though, so they couldn't get through this next part.
You don't seem like you've ever had very steadfast friends.
I do now. He smiles big and kind of puts his bird ear up to the safe. A couple moments pass. He opens it up. There is a big box on the right-hand side of the safe that very clearly in like white chalk is written the word Heiston with an apostrophe at the end and no G. There's a 3 large sacks of gold in the center space, and then it looks like a jewelry box to the left. He grabs the Heiston box, which is very heavy, and he kind of tries to pass it to you.
She holds out her arms for it. She's looking at this jewelry box. Does it look like a ring box?
Yeah. It looks like a ring and necklace box. It could probably hold both.
What is that?
Family heirlooms. Make me too sad to look at. He kind of scoops up the gold and then slams the safe door. The box is much lighter in your hands.
You know, I would like to remind you that you did trick us into breaking into this apartment that is not actually yours and ruining it in your defense.
I didn't trick you into ruining anything.
Well, that was a consequence of it.
We're even. Don't worry. As he begins leading back to the group.
I still feel like you're not the best judge of character, she would mutter mostly to herself as she followed him.
There's a balcony, right?
Yeah, there's a few balconies. They're filled with hummingbird feeders and fruit tree plant?
Just while we were waiting for Sherrilyn and Rourke to get back, Plato has stepped out to experience some of the storm.
It is intense. The rain pours forth from the sky. The thunder forms an almost unending cacophony in the distance, as it seems like many storms surround you.
In the meantime, while Plato and Sherrilyn are off in their separate areas, Francis is going to look at Oily Keith and Vance as a leader and kind of like address the both of them. So, what was your plan after you had beaten up our friend and taken his house?
Well, when he said he had a group of new friends that were stronger than we ever were, we didn't believe him because he's a known liar. So we thought he just wouldn't come back because I beat him up real bad. I was captain of the guard once, you know. How far we fall. Anyway, not important.
But enough about that.
Enough of my past. So, with Rourke getting your owed payment for whatever activities you partake in, what will you do next?
He looks to you. I honestly haven't thought about that. I mean, our crew, we just do small-time gigs in Nutter's Rally, usually enforcement stuff or, collecting owed debts on behalf of different business owners. We'd probably go back to that, but, with nicer clothes and weapons.
Did any more not frowned upon areas of work ever cross your party's mind?
We all kind of, for different reasons, we're not allowed to do that kind of stuff anymore.
You are barred from such employment in these lands?
Yeah, I personally got caught helping a smuggler. His eyes kind of narrow, looking down the hallway as Sherrilyn and Rourke return.
And perhaps these lands are no longer suitable for you.
Kind of thinks that over a little bit. And the footsteps echoing in the hallway. Is there anywhere you'd recommend trying our luck?
Well, if you are good with your weapons, as you have proven, he says with kind of like a reluctant, yeah, perhaps you can think of another job out in the land of Luxoria, or even go over to Han Hop. I hear merchants are always looking for protection over there.
Roll me a persuasion check.
8 + 3 for 11.
Has always sounded nice. Rourke takes the 3 bags of money. He puts one in front of Vance. He puts one in front of Francis, and he holds one in his hand. There's 2,000 gold pieces in each of these. You take that as a thank you, and I keep this.
Is that what was owed?
Vance looks up. It's fair. You all could have killed us.
We could have.
Francis kind of very silently looks at the corpse.
Maybe I've put a blanket over it before I went to look at the storm.
Perhaps next time you are thinking of holding someone's home hostage, you might rethink that plan.
I just don't know.
I would say maybe don't attack one person when you're a group of people. That is what I find to be the more untasteful thing.
No, he challenged me to an honor duel. I whooped his ass one-on-one, fair and square.
Rourke.
What? I said I got beat up. I didn't. Look, he's hurt. I hurt him. I didn't say they all beat me up. Of course I challenged him to honor duel. That was the fastest way. He represents them. I represent me.
Well, that squanders this whole ordeal.
I don't know what is wrong.
You shouldn't have let Sherrilyn know that Anna had already been involved.
We have a party to attend.
How about this? You all get my heist inbox too. It's not like I'm going to do any more of that. Rourke slides his heist inbox over.
What is that?
Do you open it?
Yes.
You open up the heist inbox. It's a clip on top that you unclip. There is what looks to be a large hammer, like a tool hammer that has a very heavy top part and then a kind of thinner interlaid metal part. It's beautiful in its design and ornate nature. There is a headband that looks kind of well worn and a little bit sweaty. It's a bright red that is wrapped around the base of the hammer. There are a few different scrolls, and then there is a bunch of map cases that lay at the bottom, kind of tumbling around underneath this other stuff.
What are these things for?
Heistin! Oily Keith yells.
As in breaking into places.
Yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. Now I'm more of a smuggler thing. Yes, The headband will make you very smart, good for planning. Inara, you will like this. He takes the hammer and hands it to you. As he hands it to you, it cycles through, and it becomes in his hand a screwdriver, a wrench, a pair of scissors, and then as he like spins it around his hand and he passes it to you, it is like a pair of large shears.
Oh, this is amazing. Thank you. She takes it and starts trying to use her will to shift it to different alchemy, I guess, tools that she commonly uses.
It will take some time to get used to. You have to attune to it at least once. And you can look up a +1 all-purpose tool and add that to your inventory.
Sherrilyn would close this box with a snap and shove it into Plato's chest. This seems more of your thing.
Yes, it does. Quite interesting. I looked through the scrolls that are in there.
There are 3 scrolls of water walk, 3 scrolls of water breathing, and 3 scrolls of feather fall.
Were you robbing someplace underwater?
Everyone just kind of nods. They all look towards each other, and then towards you, and Vance and Rourke nod at the same time.
Nothing to do with the issues in the Wayfens now, so I hope.
I don't think so.
You didn't know? Well, you'd know if you went down there and did a thing, one would assume. All right. And you said there's maps? What does it seem like the maps are of after I say this thing about the underwater?
Do you pop it open?
Yeah, sure.
They're very detailed blueprints. You'd be familiar with such blueprints working at the sluice gate. But yeah, as you open them up, you're unable to immediately pair what buildings they are for, but they seem to be a series of incredibly detailed blueprints.
All right. Well, I would like to look at these for a little bit longer. It seems that Inara should spend some time attuning to her new tool.
If I could remind everyone here that we have a play to attend or some event grandiose.
Right, of course. It was, 9:30 when we left the dive bar? How long did it take for us to do this, whatever this was, this thing that we've done?
Their asses?
15-20 minutes in total.
For Sherrilyn to take a ride.
Oh, so not too long.
Yeah, you guys have another 2 hours before the show.
It might be before, yeah, it might be nice to wait here to attune those things, to rest a little bit, as some of us had been hurt, and then maybe make our way to, where is it, the grand stage?
Yes, you bring up a good point. Sherrilyn is looking at herself, looking at the wounds that she has. There's like a cut and this bruise that's turning color on the bottom of her chin right now. Rourke, do you have any of that that stuff that people put on their faces to cover blemishes and such?
No.
You've never smuggled makeup?
Oh, makeup? Yeah, I have some makeup. I have some disguise kits that have different makeup sets in there.
What did you think I was talking about?
I honestly had no idea. I thought it was a weird high elf thing, some sort of root, or I don't know. I genuinely did not know.
Yes, Rourke, makeup. Do you have makeup? Please
Yes.
fetch it for me.
Okay, will do. As he's running away, you hear Oily Keith yell, what, can we crash here tonight? It's already pretty late, and we're hurt too. Yeah, yes, Keith, yes. God damn it.
What a strange group of friends you guys are.
I must tell you, Sir Thon, he counts us amongst his friends.
I will tell you how I feel after we are done with this place.
I'd have to do something about the body.
He returns in a moment or two with a small chest. The makeup is in the bottom, and he puts it over to you. The top layer is a series of wigs and false mustaches. And you look at it first, you think it's like a bunch of caterpillars, but no, it's just a very large collection of fake mustaches. A ridiculously thorough collection of fake mustaches and styles in one side, and then on the left, just a bunch of wigs.
A master of disguise.
She's holding up the fake mustaches in front of her one by one. And then she will retrieve the aforementioned makeup and...
Sherrilyn?
Oh, what? She quickly puts them back.
All right, so it seems like we are we are waiting here. As we had said, we are going to rest here for a little bit. I guess maybe Vance, Oily Keith, maybe you all could stay over there and we'll stay over here. Just keep things civil.
Have none of you even been sleeping in my bed? You all have like cots set up out here. They don't say anything or respond. It's a big bed.
Maybe you two go sleep in Rourke's bed while we use this outer space.
Oily Keith? Maybe not you. I think you know why.
I think there was a clawfoot tub that we passed.
Yeah, sleep in the tub.
Puts a centaur. Oh, that's fine too. I mean, I guess, has the centaur moved? Is it still singing? Is he still singing to himself over there?
You look over, he's kind of flopping like a fish.
I would like to kneel beside him, near his front half that is not horse, and I would like to softly ask him, "Who's Maria?"
A couple of seconds pass, and you watch as his eyes snap into reality. His body reconnects with itself as you see his legs kind of kick a bit. He makes direct eye contact with you. His mouth opens, completely and utterly dry, his tongue sandpaper. I have no idea. I have never once met a Maria in my entire life.
Quickly, fetch this man some water.
So much water.
Water? I turn around and create water.
Oh yeah.
Straight into his mouth.
He's like gulping. Keep it coming. Just gulping.
Nope,
water
I can just
after
create
water.
sort of the one big instance, so I hope you got what you needed when I turned around and did it.
Quickly, before you forget, what did Maria look like? What did you see?
I don't remember. People don't remember. That's not what Slip's about.
Try to remember any details. Surely there was something important about it, if that was on your mind.
It was euphoric. She called me a good pony. I remember though. She was very good with lasso.
All right.
I'm opening my heart to you.
I am leaving.
All right, we are inside of the birdhouse penthouse. God damn it. You can't portmanteau those words because house is in both of them.
Pentabird.
Pentabird.
The bird penthouse.
I've killed 5 birds.
With one house. Yes, you're inside of the birdhouse penthouse, taking a short rest, attuning to some of the items that were given as a thanks for reclaiming his home by your friend Rourke. You see very, very casually and quickly that the group of friends that Rourke had here, that you identified in the painting that he had the stuff hidden behind, have quickly rejoined as a group here, including Rourke. They're kind of sipping alcohol. They have taken Henry's body and kind of put it between them. They're discussing lightly, there's been mentions of what to do with it, but they're just kind of telling stories involving Henry now in the back of the room, kind of as you all move about the space, taking your short rest, doing whatever it is that you would do to rejuvenate during this period and restore your resources. Make sure to hit your short rest buttons. They are gathered around his body, doing Rourke's drugs and drinking his alcohol. What are we all doing?
Sherrilyn is finishing applying the makeup to her face to hide all of her wounds, including those self-inflicted.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a performance check. Sleight of hand check to see how well that makeup gets applied to your face. How often does Sherrilyn apply makeup in Medea prior to the events of our campaign?
Not ever.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, but she rolled a 16.
16's pretty good. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a clown makeup, which is what I was hoping. It instead looks very competent.
Inara wouldn't let her go to this event with clown makeup on.
But Inara would have to see it
Right.
first, which would have been great for me. But yeah, no. You expertly are able to. There's a plenty of mirrors here. There's actually a suspicious amount of mirrors here on a lot of surfaces. Like you're looking for a mirror and you look up, and like a lot of the ceiling is mirrored. In the bedroom area,
Kinky.
the bathroom area has these huge standing mirrors, and yeah, you're easily able to do a very beautiful round of makeup using his disguise kit.
Now, this is extra interesting for my character because she has never looked at herself in a mirror before. So she's spending a lot of time turning back and forth, cheek to cheek, looking at herself in the mirror, looking into her own eyes and touching her own hair. For the makeup, I think she goes pretty neutral because she's not really used to altering her physical appearance at all. She has a steady hand, so she applies it well as reflected in the role. But I think the only thing that's maybe not neutral is she goes for a really bright red stain on her lips that matches her hair. But she takes extra time after she's done putting the makeup on, admiring herself. I think she'd finish by taking that headband that was in that kit that we got, and tying it over her hairline.
Hell yeah. What's everyone else doing during the short arc?
I imagine Inara spends a decent amount of time attuning to her new all-purpose tool. First, she tried to shift it into different tools that she's already familiar with. Things from her alchemy set, her leather workers tools. She tries to throw in a little creativity and see if it'll change into something that she imagined, but doesn't really know if it exists or not.
Yeah, as you take it into your hand and feel it, as you finish attuning to it, the first thing that immediately becomes noticeable is it becomes weightless in your hand. Prior to this, it was very heavy. It had the weight and heft of a proper tool. And as you take it and begin to shape it, it feels formless and weightless in your hand as you begin to turn it into these different tools. Vial from your alchemy set, mixer, I don't know what's in an alchemy set. You're easily able to turn it into these mundane tools that you've seen before. And it is of the highest quality of those tools that you turned it into. However, the form and function of it seems to shake a little bit and become unstable as you try to turn it into these new ideas that you have for machines. And it becomes this kind of combination Swiss Army of like the most basic versions of components of what you're thinking of can do. It doesn't seem to have the capability to become complex. But it does have the ability to create any mundane, non-complex version of thought that you have, right? It just can't become more than that yet.
That's awesome. I would imagine she starts thinking about her experience with the werejackal corpses. And if anyone's looking at her, she like surreptitiously starts to look at Henry's corpse. But then his friends all gather around him and they're telling stories about him, and she gives up on that idea. She's like, no, I can't do it in front of his friends. Never mind. And instead she'll turn her attention to Sherrilyn's.
No, just for a second, as you're listening and you hear, do you remember when he actually took the candy from the baby? He just straight up ran at that baby and stole the candy. What a man. As you walk back towards Sherrilyn.
Huh. Well, I wouldn't have felt as guilty, but never mind. And she'll just go check on Sherrilyn, trying to see what's taking her so long, and then realizing that Sherrilyn's actually admiring her own reflection in a dress, no less. Like, she's very much enjoying this side of Sherrilyn, so she's trying not to break the spell. She's like watching her from a distance, waiting to see what she does next.
She's frumping her own hair with her fingers and drawing a pinky to the corner of her lip to clean up some excess stain.
Oh my god, she's a girl, finally!
And then she catches the sight of you behind her in one of the mirrors and spins around, immediately straightening her spine and lifting her chin. My lady, can I help you? Did you need some of this?
She looks at the makeup that she's gesturing towards, and she thinks, actually, yes, why not? We are going to a party, and also, great job. Especially like the red lips.
Oh, she hovers her hand in front of her lips, sort of embarrassed, maybe? Thank you. I haven't exactly done this before.
Well, you can't tell. And she walks up next to you and starts applying her own makeup in the mirror.
She watches you intently. I think it's extra fascinating to her because you're covered in hair.
Well, I would imagine she focuses a lot on her eyes, so she's doing like the smoky blend and like a winged eyeliner to accentuate her cat eyes. So, yeah, that's basically what she's doing in the mirror.
Suppose if the person was cat-sized, you could put eyeliner on a cat. Plato doesn't like rooms full of mirrors and doesn't like that he sort of accidentally killed a guy. So he's looking over at them occasionally, but then having to hear them is giving him a headache. because he can't focus on anything but their voices, even though he's receiving information that seems to indicate Henry was ontologically evil, which makes him feel better. But if the rainstorm is still going on, sort of as he gets that headache, he tries to look away from Henry and the group, and he turns to see that like there's mirrors on every other surface.
To the worst of us, you hear them cheers.
To the worst of us. I think Plato is going to go lean on a close to the whatever window is still open. I think the storm is still going on, trying to kind of drown out the noises of the voices and sort of what's happening, focusing entirely on the sound of thunder and counting between the rumbles.
You find the rhythm of it quickly, and the voices fade away. Francis?
Francis would kind of see Plato obviously dealing with the consequences of him blasting poor Henry accidentally.
Blasting of poor Henry.
The blasting of poor Henry. A tale as old as time.
It'll be a ballad.
Rob's going to make it a ballad.
Going, keep going.
This is great. I'm just giving him new content.
Great. I'm going to be haunted by a ballad. Can't fucking wait.
They will sing tales of what you've done to poor Henry. But he will walk over to Plato. But Francis will stand in silence with Plato for just a few moments, and then he will sort of break the rhythmic pattern of the rain and be like, do you think the world is better without him?
It is not for me to say if the world is better or not.
The world is better without him. That we can all agree.
When they like exclaim that from the crowd, Francis will kind of like hook an arm on Plato and then turn him away from the group. Like, don't mind them. Just, do you think in your mind you did the right thing?
I think Plato puts a hand to his forehead, sort of looking out on Netter's Rally, seeing a good view of the nets from up here, like the sprawl of Netter's Rally. And he sort of laughs a little bit at sort of the cheers that have gone on and Francis's focus on it. And he sort of rotates his shoulder where the water arm is, and he says, Francis, it is not a matter of right or wrong. It is my fear that I cannot control it.
You cannot control what you do? You have proven yourself very capable from time to time. Why are you now worried about it?
Because it is now that I have failed in controlling it. I was at the sluice because I thought maybe it would be better for me to be there, but the truth of the matter is, I don't know the full extent of... He lifts his arm up and flexes his fingers, looks back over at where they're singing of songs about how bad Henry was for the well-being of civilization. And he says, and I cannot say to myself it is better that it was him than someone else. But I must always control it, always, or it will get out of hand.
Francis kind of just let him explain himself, explain his feelings, and then without looking at him, he's looking out at Netta's Valley as well. He'll ask Plato, do you think it is of help to worry about what has happened as opposed to what can happen?
Now that I do find to be a comforting question. I suppose it is better to worry about the future with what has happened behind us. Can I ask you something, Sathan?
Ask away.
Are you worried that I am lost?
He'll chuckle at the very on-the-nose question. Is like, everyone is lost in their own way. It's just a matter of when we find the path that takes us down the road of destiny.
I hope there is still road left for me.
I think for all of us, whether we see it or not, there's a long road ahead.
I think Plato just doesn't respond, sort of tilts his head back, waits for the next peal of thunder.
Instant. A storm tumultuous, raging around you. You all finish your short rest. Inara and Sherrilyn finish your makeup, working together in the mirror, ready to go to the final performance of the Summar Sisters at the large stage at the top level of Netter's Rally.
I think we can call that top area Hera's Span, if you'd like.
Hera's Span.
Hera's Span. It's my grandmother whose land this used to be before it was given over.
Oh, yeah. The group has kind of gathered, and you see the other folks are still kind of drinking. A few of them have taken slip, you can see pretty evidently by their eyes as they're kind of still form this circle. A couple of them have fallen asleep during this time period. The one closest to Henry, someone who fell unconscious, you recognize now definitely his brother, with a resemblance in the face between him and the dead man here. Definitely related in some way, shape, or form, as he seems to still kind of be regarding the corpse as everyone around him drifts off. The time is now about 10:45, almost 11 o'clock. You guys have about an hour and 15 minutes until doors of the final performance of the Summar Sisters. The lift system has not been set back up. You see the mechanisms for it by the doorway here, but the rope ladder remains.
Before we descend from this house, in whatever manner that may be, Sherrilyn would approach Plato and Francis at the end of their conversation. She would ask, "Does he need to be thrown in the river?"
I hadn't really considered it. I had thought maybe we should toss him out of the treehouse to make it look like an accident, but maybe they have a way to take care of it. I was thinking, actually, Sherrilyn, is there any way I could trade you some of the platinum I have for the horse money? I wanted to give them, I don't know, a tithe for their fallen brother.
I think you might have mistaken me. What I was recommending was a funeral rite, and what you are suggesting seems like we are covering up murder.
Yes, I am so sorry about that. Just one of those things where I was thinking about my way, you're in your head so much. No, I was thinking maybe we pay the brother so that they can have a funeral for him.
So we are not covering up this accidental, air quotes, murder.
I think they are unlikely to go to the guard.
It's not a murder. Inara speaks up. We said stop. We told them we didn't want to hurt them. They insisted on continuing. She sees you trying to shut her up.
I think she should say it louder.
I know, I appreciate so much your help. It's just you and your record on murders. It's a little rough for me to accept.
She actually gives you a bit of a, shit-eating grin. She knows technically she should be upset about this, but she's just so proud of herself for being able to take care of herself with no guards present in the past few days with this group. So there's no guilt at all on her face.
Mr. Ardavian has a point.
We can, if you're willing, Sir Stalder, to trade me some platinum on the 5-to-1 gold things that the octopus told us, maybe we can offer his apparent brother there some money so that they can pay for a funeral. I think ne'er-do-wells of this type, especially Rourke's friends, are unlikely to go to the god.
If you import lumber like everyone else from Honhub, how much does a casket cost in this country?
What? Plato just looks at her baffled. Is this another funerary rite that I don't know, that you ask questions about economic status?
I'm just confused at how much money I should be giving you.
Oh, I think, 25 gold for a funeral in the nets would probably be appropriate.
25 gold? That is as much as a horse.
Fine, 20. I don't know. It's been a while since I've held a funeral. Thank goodness.
Yes, I suppose I can help you front, but you will owe me.
I said I'd give you platinum. You don't want the wonderful doubloons? I reach into my pocket. Doubloon?
She'll take it, snatch it from him, wave it in front of his face pointedly. The only one we have seen accept this is that damned octopus bartender who I'm pretty sure drugged Lady Inara.
Lady Inara definitely wanted what was ever in that drink. I don't think he drugged it. I think Lady Inara was like, hit me with the good stuff, and that's what's happened there. Just because, once again, given her record. Sorry, once again, Inara, you ate the sludge coffee.
Lady Inara is nodding along. I did not mind being drugged one bit. I'm fine.
Well, hopefully he remembers how to make that drink.
Yes, you can. I mean, we may be. Nope. I'm thinking no, actually. I'm getting no.
Well, we should be on our way. And how will we descend?
Inara looks over the side and she goes, we could jump.
We are not jumping. That is an assured way to break our legs.
I'm just going to go down the ladder, right? You said the ladder's there, just the lift
Yeah,
is
you
there?
go down the ladder.
Yes, okay. See, look, ladder.
Slight issue. How do I descend in this skirt?
By giving up on modesty, Inara says, and goes ahead in front of you.
Plato looks up at the conversation that's happening above and looks like straight. Is Inara wearing a skirt?
Yep.
You wait until I am done climbing down.
You could just not look up if the view is so upsetting to you.
Sherrilyn is above Inara, descending, and she will look down at you, Plato, and roar, "Avert your eyes!"
I just dropped the last 5 feet down.
Francis is at the top, like, yep, I'm glad I'm going last.
Rourke kind of waves you all goodbye. Please feel free to come sleep here too if you all want.
Do be sure to have the lift ready by then. I do not think Plato can survive another ladder climbing.
No promises.
And a place to rest that is not covered in slip and glass shards.
You can have the bedroom.
Wait, Rourke, I forgot something. I hand him some gold. I hand him, I guess, 20 pieces of gold.
What is this for?
For if you wanted to get some, what would you call it, clerical work done on your friend Henry, or a funeral, if you think that is more appropriate.
Okay. Do you remember me giving you 2,000 gold pieces just like an hour and 20 minutes ago? It feels a little sarcastic, is all I'm saying.
I forgot to give it to the other guy. Give it to the other guy.
I'm just saying, like, they also saw me give you 2,000 gold pieces
Fine.
just moments.
Okay, then you volunteered to give it from your personal supplies, and give me back my 20 gold. I'll give it to Sherrilyn. And
Yeah, we've got it. We're going to go to a high cleric in the morning.
Good, I suppose. At least I will not have to worry too much about, I don't know, skeletons.
This is not even the first time Henry has died. Don't worry. He's the weakest.
So that's interesting. Where do you normally get that done, just in case it's a service I need?
It's a lot easier to just go to the Temple of the Merchant because it's just cash exchange. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to explain what happened or why or whether or not someone was good or bad. You can just give them flat exchange money and they revive.
Yes, I suppose the merchant will have found a strong following here. That is good to know, thank you. Sorry to have made you fly down.
It's okay. He seems pretty drunk as he climbs back up.
You certainly have a unique taste in acquaintances, Plato.
I like a wide range of people, especially useful ones, and Rourke has proven himself quite useful, don't you agree?
I would be inclined to agree with that statement.
Mixed bag. Keep the gold, Mr. Ardavian. I will be keeping this doubloon.
Thank you. This means I won't have to keep handing people pirate doubloons when I want things.
And this means that I may hand a pirate doubloon to the people whom it may concern.
Are you guys also splitting up the 2,000?
Yeah, I suppose we did that during the short rest. I would have done that. Would it be 500 each then?
So Plato can add 520 gold, and Sherrilyn can add 501 pirate doubloon.
Yeah, would you look at that? I forgot. I look into my money pocket that I had clearly labeled. It's the not money pocket.
Francis finally has above 10 gold pieces to his name.
All right, we make our way to the grand lift, not super far from Rourke's penthouse treehouse. The streets are still pretty busy despite the storm. Everyone has an umbrella up, but people are headed towards the lift. As you see people headed towards the lift, you see their dresses are fine. Their outfits are well crafted. A lot of vests on the gentlemen here. Vests are really in fashion, sleeveless especially.
Good for birds.
As you see them kind of gather and head towards the stage.
This might be an issue, Sherrilyn would think as she sees these people filter in, as her dress is quite tattered and dirty now.
There's actually 3 different lifts here. One that heads towards the Wayfens, which is the underwater Triton community. One that heads towards the Ledge District, which is the middle space here, filled with businesses of all sorts. And then the third Grand Ledge, Hera's Span, which features all of the largest, most important administrative and educational buildings of Nether's Rally. It is in Hera's Span where you all are headed. You take towards the lift. Again, just a few copper a piece here ends up being about a silver for the public maintenance fee as you all get on the lift.
Yes, I will see if it works. I do have mending as a cantrip, so I think if Sherrilyn looks self-conscious of her dress.
Like I have seen battle. Not self-conscious, like I have seen battle and won.
Yes, if I see that other people are maybe in the fine vests looking at Sherrilyn's more tattered dress.
So yeah, Inara will take prestidigitation as a cantrip for the day after the short rest, and seeing everyone else dressed in their finest, she doesn't want her friend to look tattered in the middle of the group, so she'll join Plato and help fix her up, basically.
So we step to the side then.
Yes, or we can do it as the lift rises, depending on how full it is. We can probably do it in the corner.
Yeah, the lift itself is massive, so there are a lot of people on it.
Yeah, I think these are like hydraulic, a press, like a hydraulic press upwards.
Yeah, and it's moving pretty slow because again, the water pressure in the city is running pretty low right now. So you guys have some time.
Yeah, and I think like 3 sides of it are the stone wall, like it's carved into that ledge as we're rising. I think we can like find a spot in the corner, and I look at Sherrilyn and I say, I can sort of fix that if you're okay with it.
What are you doing? Why are your hands so close to me?
Inara,
Calm down, he's just helping.
Thank you.
Yes, she immediately responds to your request and starts running her hands a little closer than him to Sherrilyn, running them all over her dress.
Well, this is fine.
Yes, I think we would have to do a slightly shorter hemline here to... Oh, I step back a step.
I think that's a marvelous idea. And she immediately hikes up your skirt.
Oh.
See, we have to work with the material that you have left here mostly. He's like, sort of, you can see he's putting his hand down and the water is sort of stitching between these two things and solidifying into a seamless fix as per the mending spell.
The other people on the elevator are glancing their way, and Sherrilyn gives them a casual wave and says, "Don't mind us."
Yeah, while the three of you are tending to Sherrilyn's dress, Francis like kind of like acting as like almost like a bodyguard, like getting in between people, like looking through, like there's nothing to see here. She just had a minor wardrobe malfunction. Pay mind to your own.
Wardrobe malfunction.
We unfortunately cannot create more fabric, so as I said, shorter hemline, but we can probably fix the dress here.
I'm a solver of conflicts.
You say that over Francis's shoulder to the people looking at us.
Absolutely.
Perhaps best not to advertise you win a fight.
This is a result of heroism.
Why do I bother?
Getting a Cinderella type treatment in the corner of the elevator.
Inara, what's your passive perception?
13.
Let me roll something real quick. You do spot her. On the other side of the grand lift here, just as you're kind of glancing across the crowd as you're working on the dress, you spot a pair of ears that look very familiar to you. As you recognize in the crowd on this lift on the other side, Leilani is there. As she seems to be kind of hiding, blending in from the crowd as you guys make yourself known. She does not want to be seen by you, but she does not do a good enough job of that as her ears are clearly popping out and you recognize them from childhood.
Sister, she says over the crowd.
The lift is too big, you would have to approach her.
So I guess once we're done with Sherrilyn's dress, Inara will step back, take a final look to make sure she looks presentable enough for high society, I guess. And then, deeming her satisfactory, she turns to look at the rest of the lift, notices very familiar cat ears, and starts stomping towards the other side of the lift to confront her sister.
You all pass by the ledges, see the many rooftops and thistled buildings of the businesses that make up this district. Some of their lights still lit. There's a brothel here, right? I think there's a grand brothel on the ledge, just in the ledge district. Is that okay?
No, yeah, for sure. I think I mentioned even maybe in a conversation with Inara earlier that that because of the merchant and the lover here now.
As you pass by the ledge district, one of the largest buildings is lit by these many red torches that seem to kind of cover the front of it. The largest brothel and the best brothel in Nettles Valley. The lift that you all are on doesn't connect with the ledge district at all. It doesn't have an off-ramp there. It would require quite a big jump as you align with the ground, the lift itself going behind it, separated from the lift that would connect directly with it, as they're allowed to kind of move at the same time without running into each other. As you all pass the Ledges District, Inara, you make your way through the elevator. You see her see you and like try to skirt the crowd and like pretend she's not there still. Like she's like kind of getting around. There's a couple of aarakocrans that are like pretty thin that you like see her full form like pass by as she's walking like opposite you.
Once Inara gets within earshot of her sister, she calls out, "I wouldn't bother. I see you."
She does a full dead drop, like drops to all four.
Oh, all for all. Would you please grow up? And she shoves her way, like she was trying to be polite as she sort of nudged her way through, but she's losing patience with her sister's evasion, and so she just shoves someone out of the way and takes the shortest path directly to her sister, pulls her up to her feet.
The first thing you know as you pull up to her feet is her outfit looks very familiar, as it is definitely your red dress that you wore to the peace meet. It fits her a little bit tighter than it fit you, her form a little more full. Oh, Inara! I did not see you on this lift. I'm sorry I dropped something on the ground here. How are you?
She gives her a dead stare, like she's not buying anything she's trying to sell. I am great, especially running into you here when I thought we had agreed you were going to stay put.
So I was going to stay put.
Mm-hmm. And then you fell into my dress?
Oh, this is your dress? See, there was this collection of clothing that happened to be in the cart, and I was like, some of this is very nice, you know.
I know. I picked it out for a reason.
I know it's your dress, Nora. I don't know why I'm trying to lie to you. I've seen you wear it. Anyway, yes. So I met this very fancy pelican man, and he told me I was beautiful and stunning, and he invited me to a show. He gave me this special ticket, so I thought I would enjoy the culture a little bit. I snuck out. Please don't make me go back to the smelly cart.
Recognizing the same story that we heard from Sherrilyn and how she got her ticket, Inara is a little suspicious now. She's like, did he mention a collection of women?
Get out of my way. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me.
Where is she going?
I'm sorry. Did you say pelican man? I'm pretty sure I heard talk of a pelican. What are you doing here, Leilani?
Hi, Sherrilyn. You look perfectly acceptable. Look at you.
Why are you here?
I'm apparently one of the most beautiful women in all of Nether's Rally. Not a surprise.
You too, huh?
She looks a little deflected, or dejected. What do you mean?
She got the same invitation you did, for the same reasons you did.
Ah.
I knew this was some sort of scam.
Sherrilyn, I never thought that I would be in a club that would have you as a member. This is so exciting.
What is that supposed to mean?
Was that supposed to be an insult?
Do you think that was a sick burn?
No. I just didn't think we had anything in common, but our beauty binds us. That's exciting.
I do plenty of clubbing, so...
Not what she meant, darling.
Not what I meant,
but
no.
We will move on from that. Yes, both of you do share exceptional good looks, so it is no surprise.
So he saw you, Nora?
No, he did not. Don't even try to go there.
Okay, I was just curious.
All right, let's not poke holes in one another. I think that this pelican man might be doing something a bit illegal, which is why I am here, and everyone else followed me.
Well, I'm here to see a show.
I have a feeling you're here to be sold off, so you're staying with us. And she drags her back to the rest of the group.
Sherrilyn will follow. The pelican did say something about a stable of women, and you are a woman, and I am a woman, and it stands to...
They're so obsessed with this trafficking idea.
Yes! Does this not sound like some sort of capturing of women and...
I have to stay with you all, so you all have front row tickets as well. For being so beautiful.
I have a ticket, so I suppose you will be sitting with me.
You have a front row ticket, I see it. Look, it says front row. I'm seat 6, what are you?
5.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I will be staying with Sherrilyn. What are you guys? Where are you?
Incidentally, that means I suppose that he found me before you, so he came to you afterwards.
We were hoping to just sort of slip in somehow.
Okay, well, I will stay with Sherrilyn. She will be my guardian, and I will go to the nice person section.
I am in a dress.
I believe in you.
You've proven yourself a capable fighter in that dress.
The lift comes to like a halt as the constant water sound around you kind of dies out as it fills the gap. The hydraulics stopping as you all arrive at Hera's span. seeing the large buildings glistening in the distance. I will say, Plato, the first thing that you note as you arrive here, this lift gets off right at the largest school in the south of Perian, a massive academy that you've definitely attended, or not attended as a student, but have been to before. You see now a massive trident symbol. It looks new, made of this light steel that covers the front of it. It has been renamed since the last time you've been here as the Trident Academy, and it looks glorious in its beauty. It's been refurnished. The outside of it has been redone. You note right next to it a building that hasn't been super visible at any other point, but now you see in all of its glory, the tallest building in all of Nether's Rally. It must be a massive white marble windowed mage tower that stands tall and impressive, with this kind of series of balconies that lift up throughout it as it stands next to the Trident Academy. In between these two spaces, the Mage Tower and the massive Trident Academy, stands the Grand Vault, which houses the etheric relics, the ethered relics that were allowed to the free people of Nether's Rally following the coup.
It's been broken into recently, right? That's the place. That's the site of the break-ins.
Twice, once a month or so ago, and then more recently a day ago, according to the rumors that you heard. As you make your way past, you see students studying outside late into the night, lit by candlelight or mage light, as you passed by.
So obviously outside of this place that has been recently robbed, there's police tape or something, yes? So that we would also know that?
No, nothing so obvious. It is a closed vault with these massive sealed doors. There's nothing that proclaims that. You think they're probably keeping it on the down low that their biggest, most secure facility has been robbed twice. Like they're probably not advertising that. So no, there's not any direct evidence of that passing by. The grand stage is pretty close to the Mage Tower. It's not very far at all. As you kind of follow the crowd of well-dressed folks, you make your way to the grand stage. Leilani and Sherrilyn in lead. You see a large line extended around the large, pretty wide single floor building. Most of the buildings here are built up and are pretty tall. This is the most wide, largest single floor.
How many of those in this line are also beautiful women?
At a glance, I mean a normal rate of beautiful women that you would find in a city. Everyone's pretty well dressed and made up tonight. There are definitely there is another entryway here that's guarded by these two tritons in well armored guard. You see a large sign that says recommended donation 5 gold pieces, and there's a booth that they seem to be going towards before getting entry. The line is moving pretty slowly. Leilani is going to approach the Triton guards. Hi, I'm a special woman, a very special person because of my beauty. So I was given this ticket. She presents it to the Triton guards. Oh, yes, please, right this way. Sherrilyn?
Yes, also, I am one of them beautiful
Yeah, I
women.
see the ticket. You don't...
Yes, these are my assistants in waiting.
Don't know what that means, but do they have tickets?
They tend to my look.
Okay, they can't come with you. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, that is what I am demanding.
Okay, no. There's very limited seating. There's like 15 seats in the front row, and they all are taken.
We just have to see to her look, and then we will find a place to stand for the performance in case her look goes wrong, so we can upkeep it.
He kind of eyes you over. You know it's free, right? To get in?
Yes, but look at the line.
You just don't want to wait in a line?
Yes, obviously.
Think of how her look might collapse while we wait in that line.
Yes, haven't you heard of flyaways? It's so humid here.
As Plato, as you look at him and talk to him, roll me an insight check.
Boy. A 3. I'm not wise. Why did I do that? It's a 3.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem to be buying this at all, or really necessarily have any patience for it. As Leilani's gonna walk forward and leave.
Listen, I will find you guys in there, and I will make sure that Leilani doesn't get into any additional trouble. Farewell.
So if I may, as Sherrilyn is walking in, Francis will kind of like gently hold her on the shoulder and like pull her back.
Oh, do you have a ticket?
I do not so. However, this beautiful woman was assaulted, and we are simply making sure she is safe. As you can tell, we already had to tend to her dress, and we do not want to have that repeated again.
You can tell. What?
Are you implying that the security here is substandard?
Not that saying that yours is substandard. However, we and herself would feel much safer were we to stay together.
To protect her look.
You are particularly handsome, but again, there's just not the room.
Again, we will simply walk her to a seat where we know your staff will make sure she is well sought after, and then we will go to the back and enjoy the play.
I wish I could do that. That idea sounds golden. Do you know what I mean? If I had the room for it, if I had, say, 5 or 10 more room,
He's single.
What?
it would
Stop
be a
that.
golden idea.
I take my hand and with 2 pieces of gold between the 2 knuckles. Oh wait, no, that's platinum. I with like a stack. I don't know. How do you do that surreptitiously? 5 coins. I'll put them between my knuckles like a wolverine. I see. Is this more what you're looking for?
I thank you so much for the donation, sir. Yes, thank you. Please feel free to escort her for her look. And he lets Plato go by. Francis, he's like squarely blocking you with his large muscular Triton body. Now, what were you saying?
Entrepreneurial spirit.
He's here for the evening.
Was saying that we had a recent interaction and we would feel safer were we to stay with her.
Yes, yeah, okay, yes. Your friend, he's like kind of exhausted.
Inara sees this interaction is not going to end anytime soon, so she like shoulders her way between them and takes out 4. Well, Plato gave him 2 gold coins, correct?
No, I ended up doing 5. He said he needed 5 or 10.
He said 5 to 10.
So she takes out 10 gold coins and holds them out to the Triton and says, I believe this should be enough for the 2 of us to keep an eye on the look, she says a little sarcastically.
He takes it. Thank you for the donation. Yes, please, find your seat. The only assigned seating is the front row, so yeah, good. Help her with a look. He's like, God damn, it has never taken so long to get a bribe. He says to the other guard as you guys are walking behind him.
There's a sign for it. You rub your fingers together next time. Come on.
Sherrilyn is lifting her skirts to follow after Leilani.
Leilani must have like set into a dead sprint. You do not see her. Sherrilyn, the pathway that you take, you all take, is narrow and filled with this grand art. It seems to be like a backstage pass. There is art of great artists and performers kind of lining this hallway of Netter's Rally. None of them look particularly dated. This art all looks pretty new or newer in design. It looks modern to the current standard of these massive oil paints of different performances. And near the end of the hallway, you see right before you're pointed by an usher to the door, a massive portrait of 3 beautiful heron aarakocran women with a grand font on the bottom that says the Summar Sisters. You recognize as the show you're here to see tonight. As you all are escorted to the front of the stage, there is currently on the stage, as you go in, 3 Triton men who are wearing a vest and essentially Speedo, very, very tight clothing, very muscular and ribbed. They currently have going between them at least 6 salmon, 2 saberfish, and 1 small shark, as they are intensely juggling between the 3 of them. Their eye contact locked in this trio of intense juggling. It seems each of their eyes are focused on one another as they're able to maintain this large amount of sea fish in the air. You realize in a moment after watching her too that all of these fish are still alive, as they seem to be wobbling and fighting for their life in this oceanated area.
What torture.
As these fish fight, the juggling gets harder. An impressive act, to be sure. The crowd behind you all is loud and rambunctious. The front row just absolutely filled with some of the most beautiful women you have ever seen, all the way through. Most of them have arrived already. You spot Leilani, Sherrilyn, as you all arrive here. The seat next to Leilani and the seat after that are both empty at present. Besides that, most of the other front row seats here have all filled in with beautiful, stunning women.
There's no names on any seat because he just indiscriminately gave everyone tickets.
He discriminated somewhat, which was that he invited only beautiful women.
Right. Yes, I will go directly to my seat, pushing it down, smoothing my skirts over my butt and taking a seat next to Leilani, kind of on the edge of my chair. Twisting back and forth, looking at these people on the row. Do they all look like they're from here? Their fashion, would it indicate to me from what I had seen coming in that they were Perian?
I would say there are a lot of Luxorian folks here too. It's kind of hard to differentiate the Perian nature. There are definitely humans here, or other folks that immediately appear Perian to you. They have the facial structure, the mannerisms. I don't know how you would immediately tell someone to be Perian, honestly.
I was going to say fashion-wise, I think for Netter's rally, it's like sort of pirate formal. So like they had like the vests are over sort of blousey shirts, and some of them are wearing coats like how Plato has the coat. And then like the closer you get to Breg, it becomes a little more Victorian. But right where we are now, I think like high fashion would be maybe a jaunty tricorn hat or something like that. They're like river pirates here, but like in a elevated way.
Absolutely. It's a good blend. Species makeup wise, this place has the most aarakocran Triton of any city in the entire Borominian continent, and that's known here. And Luxoria, being the border, also features a lot of these species. So, at immediate glance to you as an outsider, Sherrilyn, it's not really apparent. There doesn't seem to be many Medean or Hoppian folks among the crowd. At glance.
What about the person next to me?
The person next to you is Leilani.
No, on the other side of me.
It is empty. It is one of the only empty seats in the front row.
If there's no one next to me, that's all right. I think that I will lean forward in my chair and twist my knees towards my right so that I can look at whoever is in the seat after that.
The young parrot or Kirkin woman.
Pardon me. Don't you look lovely this evening?
Thank you. I really tried.
You did. I can tell.
How many times have you seen them? This will be my 5th.
The show. This is my first, actually.
It's such a shame you're only going to get to see them one time.
You have a recurring ticket?
Every time they perform, I try my best to go, but this is their final show.
Final show?
Yes, Autumn has taken a leading role with the Grand Opera in Breg.
I see. And why can't they just move the whole performance to Breg?
Her sisters didn't get it, and the Grand Opera will take all of her time.
So they're splitting up the company.
A tragedy, to be sure.
May I ask an odd question, as you are familiar with the person whom gave us these tickets?
Is that a baby whale? What? Yes, absolutely, ask away, as her eyes stay glued to the stage.
Sherrilyn glances at the stage and then back at her. All of these women who are sat up front, how exactly did they come to know the ticket holder?
Don't know what you mean. I personally got very lucky. I was gonna have to sit in the back, but then I met this man, this aarakocran man, who said I was one of the most beautiful girls he's ever seen, so he gave me a special ticket. That's the only reason why I'm here.
Did he say that the first time you came or the 5th?
The 5th, just tonight. I've never met him before.
Interesting. Do you know if there's anyone important visiting this play tonight?
Well, the mayoress, of course.
The whom?
The mayoress, the dean.
I'm sorry, I'm actually not from here.
Oh, she's one of my favorite people alive. She's so beautiful. She's married to the mayor, Vartun Freewin. She's the dean. She was out earlier introducing the brothers. I'm sure she'll be out later introducing the sisters.
That name does sound familiar. Will she be sitting here?
I don't know. Oh, God, you think so? Right there?
In between us, perhaps.
I'm nervous. I hope no.
Why not? It's a chance to meet an important person.
Her feathers kind of stand on edge. I don't want to meet an important person.
You are nervous.
Her legs begin to shake.
But there is no reason to be nervous when you are as beautiful as you are.
Are the rest of you just going and finding a seat in the back?
Yeah, well, I think what we want to try and find where it has 3 seats that we can all sit together. What are we trying to do?
Yeah, the back people are being let in at a steady pace, but there's still plenty of seating available. It's all first come, first serve.
Yeah, I think trying to find a set of 3 seats as close to the front as we probably can.
Or at least a spot where we could keep an eye on those two in the front row.
Yes, I think we're like sliding down along the side, like shimmying along the side of house, right? Trying to get up to the front as close as we can, or find where the closest 3 seats are as they're filling in.
I'll catch them out the corner of my eye as one of the dim lights that's lighting the seating area glints off of the shield that one of my party members is holding for me.
I think I still have it. Unless Frances took it. I remember Inara saying it was too heavy for her, ironically, since I am weaker.
You all find 3 seats together, kind of on the edge of a row, about 5 rows back from the front row. All right. This has to be the finale, right? I mean, a baby whale, there's no way they can... A full-size hammerhead shark? As you see them all, with all of their might, begin to throw this shark in the air, you watch as the shark begins to eat the other fish. As they're throwing it, they begin to throw the fish slower to each other, and then the shark faster, as the shark catches up to them in the juggling act, and in the air, keeps moving and eats up all of the fish that have been part of the routine here.
I am very glad there is a pit between us.
I had heard of the brothers' fabled food chain juggling act, but I never thought I would run into it here at Neto's rally. Bravo! Plato's clapping.
The whole crowd is going absolutely wild.
Is this truly the high entertainment that Perian has to offer?
No, this is sort of like a performance art sort of thing, but it is a comment ecologically for those who have eyes to see, I would say.
Sure, there is a statement to be made here, but it seems rather needless.
I will say the most I take from it generally is it would be cool to throw a shark, but I am not a critic.
Perhaps we can start with Sir Stalda's shield.
Some crowd hands come from offstage with a huge tank, and they very quickly stow the shark. It seems the shark seems to be part of the act, the one constant here, as he's wheeled off. The 3 Tritons, who you now know to be brothers, or at least billed as such, take a large bow at the front of the stage as everybody just goes wild. A couple of the aarakocrans, including the parrot younger woman next to you, kind of fly out of their seats a little bit with enthusiasm as they clap, as if their enthusiasm for the show is lifting them out. Pretty similar to a standing ovation, as a few people do stand for this grand act of skill, dexterity, and strength.
Sherrilyn politely claps. Well, if this is very grand, I can't wait for the main performance.
I, several seats back, say, man, I hope the next performance has something else to do with fish.
The curtain is drawn across the crowd, and you can hear some murmuring as different folks are drawn, looking directly at the stage. The crowd is enraptured. From discussion around everybody, you can tell this being your first show with them is a rarity. A lot of folks have definitely seen them here before, clamoring for the Summar Sisters. A few minutes pass here as you're all waiting in your seats. A few people in the crowd begin restless. Winter! Autumn! Spring! We want to see you! Different people chant different names, as it seems to be kind of part of the show, as different folks begin gaining enthusiasm. You see the curtain draws back just a little bit, as if they want more from the crowd.
Yes, Winter! Plato's like trying to take part. He's not gonna turn down the opportunity to take part in a live theater experience.
Sherrilyn will put her fingers between her lips and make a whistle like she's calling her horse.
You all hear a whistle cut through the noise in the crowd, incredibly loud, just like kind of silence everyone for a second, like what was that? And then everyone picks up in enthusiasm for the whistle, as the curtain draws further open. Walking through the curtain in that moment, you all see a very flashy pelican aarakocran man who has changed into an even more rhinestone and gemstone embedded vest, as Parola takes the stage. Welcome, one and all, to the final show of the Summar Sisters. I usually hide behind the crowd and not make myself known as their amazing talent manager, but I just wanted to say a few things, as this will be the last show I will be running for them. I, Parola, will miss running this show and getting to showcase the beauty that is the Summar Sisters, triplets born to perform the way that they do. I just want to remind everybody, and in this moment, he actually turns around his back to the crowd, his back emblazoned with rubies and sapphires and emeralds, that beauty is fleeting, and there are always younger, more talented beauties in the world. A message that doesn't seem to be at all for the crowd.
Did he just say what I think he just said?
As he turns back around to face the crowd. Of course, Autumn has chosen to leave us all to perform in the Grand Opera. Boo! He says, I'm just joking. A few people in the crowd pick up on the boo with him and boo at the stage. No, that is unjustified. She's doing what's right for her. And we will see what her sisters do after this. We are thinking of a grand duo act that will take Netter's Rally by storm. A kind of murmuring in the crowd. Won't be the same without Autumn. Without Autumn? And Prola says, okay, that was enough. Now to introduce the Summar Sisters, the Grand Mage of Netter's Rally, Maris, and Archmage, Aoife Freewin. The crowd draws back.
Clapping, we clap.
You see, taking to the stage, an incredibly tall woman. Her skin light pale, her hair red, long, flowing behind her, her high elven ears kind of extending forward. As she takes to the stage, the first thing you note is her eyes are kind of bright white, and following behind her, this red arcane eye that seems to hover above her head as it turns to the crowd. Sherrilyn, I cannot explain to you how closely this woman resembles your mother. Her face, her cheekbones, her hair, she looks just a few years older than your memory of her. But this looks stunningly like your mother.
What sorcery is this?
Does she look like Sherrilyn to us? Like, is there enough of a family resemblance that even those of us who haven't seen Sherrilyn's mom are taken by surprise? I mean,
Sherrilyn, how much do you look like your mom?
They look extremely similar. Like if her mother was alive today and the two entered a room together, someone might ask if they were sisters.
So I'd say yes. I'd say she looks an awful lot like Sherrilyn to you.
you know, I'd never noticed something.
I am so excited and have the honor to introduce 3 of the most talented young women I have met in my life. They are brilliant and have spent so much of their time practicing their art. I have seen them every time I have had the opportunity to do so. Even though, of course, I'm just seeing in shades of red, I know that what they do can be unmatched. I am honored and grateful to be here for their final performance, and I know I will make the trek out to Breg many times to see Autumn perform as the center stage. I hope we can all, and again, this doesn't seem like to be a message for the crowd as she says it, take it in good spirit and kindness, that people evolve and change. As she seems to kind of eye Parola, not liking the message of division he seemed to be sowing in the crowd here. Please now, stand and welcome the Summar Sisters. Winter Summar. You see as a beautiful heron woman takes to the stage. Her outfit is very sheer, but covered in these long, long ropes that are colored and ribbons that seem to fly off of her. Her wings have these large iron mechanisms that are this dark stone that seems to be coursing with electricity that goes right over her wings as she takes central stage. Spring Samar! You see an identical looking heron woman, both beautiful in their own right, graceful as can be, take the stage. She does so with a hop, barely touching the ground at all with her grace as she walks across the stage and takes a deep bow. As they walk out on the stage, you see coming from above, being slowly raised down, an intricate series of nets and ropes and metal rings. It seems like a floating obstacle course is kind of lowered from the sky. And finally, Autumn Samar! And the crowd goes absolutely apeshit. The response for the first 2 sisters was full of joy and life and love. This is something else. This is ravenous. This is hunger and admiration as she takes to the stage. Everyone is just like jumping over their seat. Everyone seems to lose their manners. She looks exactly the same as her sisters. As she takes to the stage, all of them seem to have this very complex set of clothing, different ropes, ribbons. Their outfits and the whole thing is very erotic, but not like sensual. Like it's tight fitting, but not necessarily sexy. Like a very Cirque du Soleil. That's a perfect one-to-one here. Quickly, Aoife walks off of the stage and takes her seat directly next to Sherrilyn, her arcane eye switching position and floating kind of above the crowd facing the stage.
I think Sherrilyn is staring a bit open-mouthed.
Sherrilyn, roll me an insight check.
19.
As you take her in, you realize at once that she is very much blind. As you stare at her, she doesn't have any recognition whatsoever that you're looking at her. She like kind of like feels the presence of you, but you know that she seems to be facing forward, very focused on the show, and you can hear kind of this resonant magic as you look up at the arcane eye that seemed to be floating around her. You put together that she's watching the show through the magic eye above you, and doesn't seem to be able to like notice you staring, given that she is many feet above visually.
Sherrilyn would lean towards her so that she could be heard speaking quietly over the sound of the crowd clapping and cheering. Who are you and why are you here?
Seeing, because we're keeping an eye on them, I want to say that Inara will notice Sherrilyn leaning over and see her lips moving. She can't, of course, hear what Sherrilyn is saying to the mayoress, but she will nudge Plato, point to them, and go, "That cannot end well."
No, I've met Aoife before, but I had not sort of seen her in several years. The resemblance, that's not just me, right?
No, it is uncanny and a little disturbing, and I do not trust that Sherrilyn will react appropriately to it in this setting.
I fear she may be digging herself into a hole we may have to drag her out of.
Sherrilyn, as you say this, you feel a hand firmly clasp on your left leg as Leilani leans over you. Ha 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 ha! She's so silly, isn't she? Oh, I'm so sorry, Archmage of this city that you live in. Ha ha. The arcane eye flies down from above the crowd and turns to face both of you, and you see her mouth go fully agape. Her jaw drops. Why do you look like me?
I could say the same.
I am here because I live here. Why are you here? What are you? Who are you?
You're a high elf in Perian.
I'm not even going to bother repeating because the same. Yes. Her body seems to like she's not understanding what's happening. The arcane eye kind of shakes for a moment, and she's like almost losing her concentration. In this moment, you all see the sisters are climbing rigging on the left and right hand side. You put together now, kind of without them saying. I think in previous shows they used to announce this, but the mechanisms, the metal that seems to be locked around, is creating this beautiful, sparkling display around them as they climb of these different bright colors, blues and bright yellows and oranges. But as they climb, you realize that they do not have the capacity to fly. These mechanisms seem to be locking their wings into place as they begin climbing the rigging and performing some of the most dazzling and beautiful aerial acrobatics you've ever seen in your life. As they are just spinning in the air, they constantly work with each other here. They begin filling the room with song, the beautiful blood harmony, this three-part harmonized song, as they move across this space effortlessly and gracefully. You all get lost in the dance of it, except for, of course, in the front row, as you all look at each other. I'm so confused. I haven't seen a high elf here in a very long time.
And I've hardly seen a high elf that looks exactly like me.
Yes, that is probably the most stunning part of it. After this, we should talk. I don't think we should talk over the show. We're very close to the performers.
I agree. Where shall we meet?
Roll me an insight check. I'll escort you out.
Another 19.
In that moment, you can tell she no longer gives a shit about the show at all. As she says that, you can tell her retreat into her own mind and thoughts as she seems to be processing your existence. And you, with your insight check, you see her need time for that. Like, she doesn't know how to react or respond to you. You are an unknown, and this woman seems incredibly put together, celebrated. and you destabilize her in this moment, and you can see her in real time putting herself back together, including you in her existing thought patterns and logic, trying to put you together in this. The arcane eye doesn't move. It doesn't look back at the stage. It stares at you. It kind of begins floating above a bit, but it just seems to be kind of taking you in as the performance continues in front of you. Stunning and beautiful as these three sisters flip about.
Well, this is uncomfortable. Sherrilyn will adjust in her chair and she'll try to watch the show, but this eye hovering above her, staring at her, is very distracting and also kind of obscuring her vision of part of the show as it is high above.
Yeah, Francis is gonna like look and like watch the eye kind of like go up and down, like just staring directly at Sherrilyn, and he's gonna lean over to Plato and be like, I do think that she has gained the attention of the Archmage, whether that was wanted or not.
Plato has become totally lost in the flips.
Francis elbows him.
Hey,
Do you mind?
The Summar Sisters do a series of like trio monkey barrel hanging, where they just, by a single finger, one of them is holding onto a rope and the other two are dangling off of the top one.
I'm sorry. Do you mind? How often do you get to see things like this? Sherrilyn gets into trouble everywhere we go. This is the one place I can watch cool flips.
And do you want her to get into more trouble without you knowing what is going on?
Look, the Dean can handle herself, and I think they should get to the bottom of whatever's going on there.
That is my worry. We do not know the Dean.
She can be intimidating.
On both sides of you, Inara's on. What Inara are you watching as they talk?
Seeing the eye focus on Sherrilyn, but Sherrilyn's trying to watch the show, Inara surmises that whatever interaction they're having is done for now, so she shifts her attention back to the show, but she is listening to the two gentlemen next to her discussing this situation. It's just that she does agree with Plato in that Sherrilyn gets into trouble everywhere we go. We cannot focus solely on that. So she's going to enjoy the show while she can and try not to be salty about the fact that she's not in the front row of beautiful women.
Would like to posture a question to Leilani, who is on my other side. Sherrilyn will lean towards her mid-performance and ask, what makes one of them more special than the others?
Sherrilyn, that is exactly what I was trying to solve. As you see her looking, her eyes kind of against them. I don't know what makes Autumn special. They seem identical to me in every way, even their voices. She's like super zoned in, like she was like that is exactly what she was thinking about. You see in her eyes kind of this like look of a little bit of relation. It's a complex emotion. Roll me another insight check. You're just inciting everybody tonight.
Boy, she's having sister feelings.
She is having sister feelings.
Sherrilyn rolls a 16 on this one.
Yeah, you see, like, I think under her breath, she says, you know what, fuck Autumn. Like, as she's watching, like, a little bit of, like, jealousy, like, as she thinks about her not being allowed in the peace meet, but Inara was, as she watches the stage show here.
Well, Dem, I was hoping with your popularity you might know something about this that I didn't.
No. As she says this, she's, like, just focused in, like, this. As they hang there one last time, they one at a time from the top to the bottom as they kind of hang upside down. They all have their left hand over their eyebrows now, like they're looking or searching. And the top one goes, "Oh sister." The middle one says, "Oh sister," and the bottom one says, "Oh sister." And then together they say, "I see a very cute mister." And you all see a spotlight kind of appearing from above as it begins to shine and search through the crowd as they kind of dramatically look around. The spotlight, after a couple of seconds, lands on Francis.
Yes!
Plato sinks down into his seat.
Francis is beaming in this light. The light kind of glows, like begins to change tone a little bit as it glows on Francis, like to a little bit more white rather than the yellow contrast that was around him. "Please come forward," they all beckon you.
Oh, lost guide me.
They hang from a rope, and then right as they're about to hit the ground, they each do an aerial flip and land standing together as a trio, arm in arm.
Oh, watcher.
Francis will like take a few moments to like compose himself and not like internally freak out, and then he'll stand up and just like slowly make his way to the stage, keeping like almost like a dead stare like at the stage, not trying to look at the side where he knows people are looking at him.
Inara is giddy at this. Like, she's so over the moon that he got picked. She cannot wait to see what happens.
I'm going to pretend I don't know him. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Francis, you're escorted by some ushers to the side of the stage here. Oh, handsome mister! Oh, handsome mister! Oh, handsome mister! Please come over to us sisters!
Yeah, Francis is like, I assume like once the ushers leave his side, he'll walk onto the stage and kind of like without like any like seemingly hesitation towards them.
Sure, they line up a bunch of beautiful women and then they call up Francis to the stage.
They each take a turn kissing you on the cheek as they each leave a pretty dramatic lipstick stain. One like right under your under eye, one on your cheek, and one on your lower cheek.
Bird.
Little pecks, little aarakocran lip pecks.
Actual pecs.
Actual peck on the cheek.
Little love
From
pecks.
a bird.
Kind of down your cheek as they form a triangle around you. Under their breath, they say, when you get up there, just try to stay as still as possible and upright, okay? As they dance around you. Is it okay if we touch you?
I suppose it's okay.
All three of them begin dancing, very sensual, moving dances around Francis, staying in contact with him at 3 points, also staying in contact with each other at all 3 times, having like an arm in an arm as they kind of dance around him in a triangle. As they dance, the metal on their wings begins to glow and light, and Francis, you feel air begin to form beneath you. As they dance, now all 3 of them are doing kind of somersaults around you in organization as the wings spread. As Francis, you begin to lift into the air, central stage here, quicker and quicker. You're floating, kind of free floating in the air. The spotlight again begins to shine on you.
As this happened, like Francis is very much sticking to his word of what they said, like being still. Like he almost looks like a statue, just how like firm his stance actually is. In his mind, it's like, okay, just get it over with, do it, just do what they say, get performance done, get back off stage.
Well, I never thought I'd see the day.
Plato is side looking over at Inara to see if there's even a hint of jealousy at him being all touched on the stage.
Inara's actually laughing a little bit at how stiff he looks, and I want to say she'd pick up on Plato's like surreptitious side glance, and she goes, "Don't worry, I am not a jealous woman. Lucky for him, but this is entertaining."
Francis, as you lift into the air, different props around you begin lifting as well. And they begin singing a song again, kind of in unison as you float. Ropes begin to lower around you as they climb. Let's go get our mister! Let's go get our mister! Let's go get our mister! As you see them still maintaining this constant dance, they begin climbing the ropes together, trading the ropes in unison, maintaining this triangle as the magic goes around you. As you float and float higher and higher. Finally, they reach you after a couple of moments of this intricate dance. All 3 of them put a hand on your shoulder, and all 4 of you very gently descend to the ground. Let's get a hand for our mister! They all give you another series of kisses on the other cheek. As you gently land, they all thank you profusely. We couldn't have asked for a better mister for our last show.
I wish only the best for you 3. And like as he says that, and when they're done saying their goodbyes, he'll do like a little half turn, like bow, like very like solemnly towards them, and then just walk off stage towards the ushers.
Handsome and respectful.
Who said that?
Inara will lean towards Plato. Now, if he had kissed them back, then the green-eyed monster would have shown.
They have the beaks, so, you know.
In this moment, Ifo leans over to you, Sherrilyn. Are you here to kill me?
What? Why would you suggest such a thing? Are you here to kill me?
She puts a hand on your hand. No.
No.
You see relief take to her, and the arcane eye spins around and faces the stage. It seems whatever calculating she was doing, whatever processing she was doing has finished.
Actually, I was here to make sure that none of the people sitting up front here were going to be hurt.
Do you think that someone might get hurt? She says kind of softly, whimsically almost.
Well, it was just the peculiar way that our pelican friend described his selection of women.
Oh. Yeah, this seems to be a very clear message to the girls, doesn't it? She looks amongst them, the arcane eye kind of turning and sweeping.
Yes, it seems very upsetting for many involved.
He's upset he doesn't have power over Autumn anymore. That's all.
Why is he so invested? Is it money?
Yes. They're the breadwinner. Look at them. As they take back to the aerial, they're now above the netting, and they're doing this series of free running as it seems almost conveyor belt like. The different ropes and mechanisms in the sky are pulled forward as they seem to be like running amongst this ever-changing landscape beneath them, dodging different obstacles, kind of jumping very gracefully.
But he has two others. They look exactly the same. They sound exactly the same.
It's everybody's favorite.
Well, that just doesn't make any sense.
But it won't be the same without all three of them. Even I can admit that.
Have you met my friend, by the way, in the seat on your right?
I'm busy, Leilani says. Oh, you're talking about the parrot? Oh, the parrot. Okay, sorry. She turns. You've never seen a person more sunk in their seat before, as her teeth chatter as she looks at you like, no. The Archmage kind of simply waves, nice to meet you, and then kind of turns her face back to the stage. The parrot, aarakocran, doesn't respond or say anything, but you can see a smile take to her lips if you were to look.
Her beak.
Her beak. The show continues on very impressively as such. You can sense a finale coming as the time passes, and the show before you, the constant aerial acrobatics, gets more and more intensive and impressive in their display. Finally, music begins to play, and they all begin to sing their finale song. The lyrics are sad and reminiscent, and the main chorus, you'll always remember us as we were, as they sing together in perfect blood harmony, a final goodbye to the show. You see, as you watch, the metal wings on their back fall from them, kind of falling towards the back, forming this beautiful series of wings that supplements their own as their wings spread. All three of them take to the sky, jumping off of the ropes and netting. As they jump off and take, you see emerging this series of patterns and illusions around each of them. To the left, you see a series of flowers blooming, spring personified, ivy spread around them. In the middle, you see autumn, leaves and a grand tree with the colors turned, all of them kind of floating there in the air. And then finally, you see winter, frost spread around her, this gorgeous color of white and purity and snow. Sherrilyn, from your perspective, this close up, what's your passive insight?
13.
13. Where are you looking in this moment as you take them all in? Anywhere in particular?
Do the effects all come at once, or do they pop up one at a time?
They all come at once, and they like fill the entire space as they float there in the air, their wings carrying them.
I think she would be looking specifically at the wings that have seemed odd this entire time for them to be wearing wings when they themselves have wings.
Yeah. Any person in particular? The show is grand, and they're kind of spread out in this moment.
Yes, she's been puzzling over Autumn this whole time, wondering what makes her different and really, really trying to find what makes her different. So she's looking at this person in particular.
Roll me a perception check as you watch over Autumn.
All right. 9.
As you watch her and you watch the wings particularly, your eyes kind of float over to the wings as this large display of leaves spread around her. But the one thing that catches your attention, even with a 9, is the sheer look of panic spread across her face. As a moment goes by and you see her wings no longer float, as with a light, they lock into place, and very, very quickly she begins to free fall directly to the stage. You hear gasps come from both of her sisters. The Archmage floats up from her chair in an attempt to catch her, but she's not quick enough at all, as you watch Autumn fall.
Hey everyone, this is Parker, and I play Francis in the Lands That Make Us podcast. Thank you for tuning in and joining us on our adventure. Our cover art was done by Julia Folkart, and theme music composed by Dustin Goddard. Let us know how you are enjoying the show by leaving a review and sharing with your own fellow party members. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.